Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, as a listener and as a talk radio host, there continues to be little Reese's Pieces of like, oh, there's a little nugget here.
Breadcrumbs.
Yeah, little breadcrumbs being put out there. So Pro Football Talk had a report that per multiple sources, Bill Belichick has been talking to at least one experienced PR specialist in hopes of boosting his book tour and or the overall interests in the North Carolina program.
Wait, an experienced PR specialist, but he's dating one.
Yeah. Well, no. He's dating a young lady, maybe. A woman, a young girl. I'm going to stop talking now. Before I say something someone's offended by.
A PR wizard.
She probably thinks that. I think she and he may have higher expectations for her. Although Julian Edelman also agrees. He thinks she did a snap job of butting in when necessary, and that the rest of the world are the ones that are wrong. But Bill Belichick apparently has had this I find interesting. It's actually a Bears VP of Communications, Brandon Faber, that he has apparently had a relationship with. Yeah. And he may be helping him. Others may be helping him. And I wonder here, does he, like, is this about the book? Because the book is seemingly, he was the thorn in the side of Simon & Schuster, who wanted to promote the book, and he was a pain in their ass. Mm-hmm. So I don't really think it's about the book for Bill. I think it's just PR. I think Bill's not real happy with the way this has played out. He needs
image rehab right now?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I do. I mean, when his buddy Charles Barkley is talking about, slippery slope, and I might need to basically do a Chuck GPT intervention with Bill. I think maybe Bill was like, oh, yeah, it's really this has kind of gone off the rails here a little bit. Yeah, yes, it is. Okay, speaking of defenders, go ahead.
I mean, I was going to say Barkley. How about SNL?
Okay,
SNL over the weekend taking aim at Belichick.
Oh, they should. Go ahead. Roll.
So this order will make it socially acceptable for a man in his 70s to date a 24-year-old.
That's right. We're calling it the Belichick Law. We're going to make girlfriends young again, okay? Old men can now date far younger women. We like that. It's hot. But in reverse, it's quite disgusting, right? Very Dateline, Did you see Belichick's girlfriend? She's pretty hot, right?
Yes, she is a beautiful creature.
God, you're creepy. This is why we don't hang out outside of work.
That show hasn't been funny in years.
Also, he's not. This is where I defend Bill a little bit. He's not the first 70-year-old to date a 20-year-old. This happens all the time. Now, you could argue
one of the more prominent ones recently,
and not in that world. Like if Hugh Hefner does it, or in acting or entertainment, he's the stoic, hardcore head coach of the dynasty in New England. I just think it's playing a little differently, but he's definitely not the first to go down this road.
It's just not usually a spectacle like this.
Exactly.
It's just kind of a fact of life, and you go, oh, I don't love that, and then you move on. Like it hasn't been forced on us by a CBS Sunday morning interview quite like this.
But that's my point.
And there's all sorts of and the funny thing is, Dan, if you're looking at the Belichick-Jordan relationship, Andy, is like a home. Like the police have been called to the house. There are trash fires regularly outside. There's loud music. Sometimes there's fireworks. Like the house is the one in the neighborhood right now that everyone keeps saying, like, God, when is it going to end? Are these people going to move eventually? These guys kind of suck.
The whole story continues to roll. And Dan Ball, you're going to bring me up to date, because one of the latest nuggets we had also over the weekend was that everybody saw the Super Bowl commercial, the Dunk Kings and all the orange and all that. And we saw Bill in it.
Kings.
And we also saw Jordan in it. And I don't know. I didn't think anything of it at the time, but now we find out that she forced her way into a Dunkin' commercial?
Yeah, so to take this from Awful Announcing, who was quoting from Page 6, months before the CBS
Two
interview,
reputable sources right there. So.
Hudson was involved in a Dunkin' Super Bowl commercial that celebrated some prominent Bostonians like Ben Affleck, Casey Affleck, and Jeremy Strong. It turns out Hudson used her relationship with Belichick to receive the honor of being included in this commercial as well. No. Details emerged about how Hudson ended up on the commercial with a, quote, sports source familiar with Bill Belichick, saying that she, quote, forced her way into the commercial. The source continued, but Bill saw it as a way for her to get paid. People said they've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, get paid. I know how much people make as SAG minimum national commercial network to people. Like, she got paid a lot of money for that.
But
that's bucks.
not as much as she got paid to be Bill Belichick's girlfriend, amassing an $8 million real estate empire in like seconds. I mean, that's just the reality. The report from the New York Page 6 was $8 million like that after she dated Belichick. So
it could just be a loan.
I don't think she could be alone and not have the real estate. Oh, but she's with Bill, so she's got all these properties now. So she forced her way into. I hate to be a wet blanket on salacious fun stories, but what was it? A sports source with knowledge of Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
What does that even mean? I'm a sports source with knowledge of Bill Belichick.
So did you tell Page 6?
I didn't, because I don't know anything about whether she forced herself into a Dunkings commercial for Dunkin Donuts.
I have no idea who the source on set could have been. The fact that she was do you remember when you were watching the Super Bowl and you didn't really love the halftime show and the Eagles were up like 100-0 in the first quarter? Cooper DeJean picking off Patrick Mahomes. Where were you when? Anyway, remember the ad comes on and there's some initial excitement like, ooh, the Dunkings commercial last year was really cool. Let's see this one. Maybe it'll be a worthy sequel. Like, oh, this one's not as funny. And there's a guy in like a giant barrel of like what looks like beans. And wait a second. Is that Belichick's girlfriend? What the hell is Jordan doing in this commercial?
Well, she got Bill's. Bill, get me in the commercial. Okay, honey. Think he calls her honey? No. Hun?
I don't know. He doesn't really seem like the pet name kind of guy.
He doesn't seem like
How about J-Dog?
J-Dog, that would make me uncomfortable. But that's not the only audio we have. So we have Saturday Night Live poking fun at him. And then Ted's guy, Ryan Clark, who we ran into at the airport in Green Bay. He didn't seem real comfortable talking about this topic on ESPN First Take.
Well, you do not. That's where RC steps exit out the stage. I know who you're referring to, Mr. Riddick. Stay away.
I just watched the interview. I just watched the interview.
Yeah, I got nothing to add.
All right, relay one. I thought that was a good one. You can come back in.
It was a great one. Nobody else needs to say it. I'll say it. You're a grown man. If somebody asks you a question and you don't want to answer it, don't answer it. You spent 20 years not answering questions you didn't want to answer. We don't need somebody else telling us you're not answering something. That's all.
So Ryan Clark, not real comfortable with the discussion. Molly, I don't know her last
name.
Karam. Molly Karam, also seemingly not overly comfortable. Mad Dog was quite comfortable. He went off on an epic rant about watching Belichick for 25 years with the Giants and not answer questions and being mean to the media and all that. But yeah, Ryan Clark, who we should note, in case you don't, hosts Inside the NFL on the WB, wherever it is now. CW. Yeah, so I knew it was some letters of a network that I haven't been to in 5 years, and Bill Belichick is on the panel of Inside the NFL. So he dressed up as Bill, I think, didn't he, for one of the Halloweens?
That was still on the list of things I wish my eyes and brain could unsee from 2024. One was Ryan Clark's white face, latex makeup, Belichick outfit for Halloween.
It was scary. It was actually scary.
It was super creepy.
Not scarier for him than talking about Bill Belichick. Like, is he afraid Bill's going to get mad at him? What do you care if Bill gets mad at you? Was he going to be rude to you if you do Inside the NFL again? And I don't think Bill's doing that anyway. He's got a job for now, unless Ted is right.
He can't do that. No, like he can still do the coach thing for Underdog, I guess. Maybe he can appear with Peyton. I don't know. Just focus on the one job. Just like go coach.
Oh, you mean he should do your job? I thought that was his whole shtick. No days off, do your job. You seem to be taking a lot of days off and doing all kinds of other stuff other than just your job as the head coach in North Carolina. But Fitzy, are we done with this? Like, is this going to, we've talked about, I firmly believe the best thing for Bill, the thing Bill needs to do is just go quiet. Just disappear. Yes. Go to Nantucket for a few months. Come back to Chapel Bill. Practice. Then play. Be done with it. And yet it just seems like the media, there is a little bit of the media smells blood in the water, and they're going to continue to pursue every angle with Jordan and with whatever she's been involved in. You know, looking at the companies, The Athletic could not find any companies that included Jordan as the COO and all that.